Hi, it is Wednesday, June 24th, 2026. I wanted to pop on here to talk about the precious metals markets since they've been selling off pretty heavy. And I've been a proponent of owning them. Um, and so, there's different factors that are causing the sell off. Primarily, this view of a hawkish Fed. Um, People think the Fed's just going to allow the bond market to collapse, the housing market, the stock market. People just think that the Fed's going to sit by and let that happen um, when Japan intervenes and starts dumping treasuries because they got to protect their currency. Um, if you understand the fundamentals of why you're owning, uh, you don't need to understand any of those details about what's going on in the short term. But you also don't need to be concerned unless you're in a position where you're having to sell because, you know, well, for one reason or another, maybe you're retired and that's your nest egg. Maybe you've fallen upon hard times. Or maybe, like me, you're choosing to forego current income because you're working on projects that you believe will pay dividends in the future, and so you're essentially investing your metal in your current living expenses and the expenses of these projects for the sake of um, those future dividends. If you are in one of those categories, and so therefore you are selling, the thing to think about really trying to do right now, first of all, is um, hopefully you've got a mix of gold and silver. And well, let's just stick with gold and silver. Hopefully, you've got a basket of a few different things that um, trade differently to each other. You know, if you own both gold and silver right now, to me, it makes a lot more sense to sell gold than silver, um, just based on the ratio. Silver's been declining more than gold, so I think when they rebound, silver's going to rebound at a multiple. Um, so I'm holding on to my silver and choosing when I need to let some gold go. Um, but you know, one thing you can do right now. So that's one thing is to sell gold because gold, we're down to silver's crashed to like 50. We're at like 57 right now. It got down as low as like 55 something, but gold's down to just under 4,000 or just around 4,000. If you're selling gold, a couple weeks ago you could get maybe 4,200. Now maybe you can get 3,900. So you can still get most of what you got a few weeks ago. Unlike if you just had silver, you'd be having to sell at a bigger, um, a bigger loss relative to a couple weeks ago. So, um, well, that's one thing. Another thing is to think about what you can do to forego expenses right now. So, like, if you're working on a project or business, or you got some big expenses planned, maybe push that out for a while and try to do tasks, productive tasks that have less cost, less money. That's big, right? Because time is ultimately on our side. If you can hold long enough, you're gonna hold. You're gonna be here when um, the fat lady sings. But um, but you gotta uh, stay the course, and you got to make it to that finish line. So the less you spend right now, um, the better off you'll be, as far as preserving capital for that moment. So, um, if you're not in one of those camps, then don't worry at all, man. And if you are, hopefully you weren't hoping to make a huge sale, you know, and hopefully there are things you can forego to minimize how much you have in a sell. You know, it's important to manage your money, and you got to be prepared for these types of swings that can hit the market. You know, if you're someone who has prepared with gold, and say you sell an ounce of gold and that covers, the expenses you need to pay maybe on a certain date, um, you still, you're only 300 short of where you were a few weeks ago, and you sell that, and then you're the rest of your stack is preserved until the next time you pay your expenses, what have you. And yeah, that's how I do it, because I put my regular expenses on a credit card, and then I pay that, um, once a month. So all my expenses get paid at one time, is, I guess, from my perspective. So it's, I know what I'm gonna have to pay, and you know it doesn't hurt me that much, even as a seller, I guess, is what I'm saying. That the market's taking a hit. Like, yes, my net worth has taken a hit, priced in dollars, but we're moving to a system where things ain't gonna be priced that way anymore. Uh, so, um, what else? Let's see. Yeah, it's gradual progress. It seems, on one hand, I'm amazed how much I complete in a day. On the other hand, I'm amazed how much there still is to do, how little a chunk of the apple that is. But I am making steady progress, and you know, I'm. It's nice to have the time, and I'm productive most of the day. I haven't. Once in a while, I do a few Mario Kart races just as a break. I've been doing a lot of physical work lately, so uh, it's I need to take breaks once in a while, just to cool down and rest my muscles. So, um, I just jumped in the pool. That's another thing I do. But yeah, I do my bike ride in the morning. That's like unnecessary activity, but it's the only time of day you really go enjoy it out there right now. Any other time of day, it's a grueling challenge more than a just some kind of enjoyment. So, uh, yeah, I've been missing out on some of my other physical stuff I would be doing, because I've been doing so much physical work, just in the natural course of the day, that yeah, I haven't been bothering with lifting my weights. Or I mean, I climbed North Mountain one day so far since I've been back in town. Uh, I've just been I've been physically active without needing to schedule it into my day. So yeah, there's lots to do. There's like I don't think I'm gonna run out of things to do, frankly. But Hope everyone's doing all right, man. And yeah, if you got any questions for me, you want to reach out, you know, you just want to catch up, see how things are going. That's fine, man. Go ahead and do that. So I'll see you later.